This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The F&M want Campbell gone, saying the returning officer is clearly conflicted. Rick Fox says he's met with both the POP and the F&M about a possible election run and the government to deploy Defense Force officers to maintain order on by-election day. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, November 20th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, our special guest, scheduled to be a PLP candidate for the Golden Isles constituency, Darren Pickstock. That's all I had this morning, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands has written to Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson asking that Neil Campbell, a returning officer for the Golden Isles by-election, be removed from his position after he admitted he calls the Prime Minister his adopted father. Sands, saying in a letter to Thompson yesterday, quote, by his own admissions, unfortunate actions, and utterance, it is clear that the appointed returning officer, Neil Campbell, is not a fit and proper person to serve in that capacity. He is clearly conflicted in the role of returning officer and has publicly declared his conflict as though he would be absolved through his public admission. While he ought to have recused himself voluntarily, we now must request that he be removed from his role and replaced with a more suitable public officer. The very essence of our democracy is at stake. It is essential that the electoral process is not only fair and impartial, but is seen to be fair and impartial. Well, when contacted yesterday afternoon, Thompson told the Nassau Guardian that he did not receive anything from the opposition and would wait for the advice of his lawyer before speaking. On Tuesday, during a press conference at Parliamentary Registration Department, Campbell was asked to respond to claims from FNM leader Michael Pintard that he has conflicts of interest and previously served as Prime Minister Philip Davis's campaign general. Campbell said his relationships cut across party lines, noting that Pintard is his cousin and that the FNM's candidate in Golden Isles, Brian Brown, is a childhood friend. Meanwhile, following that chaotic end to the advance poll on Monday night, Minister of National Security Wayne Munro says that he's asked the Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force to deploy a quick reaction team to the polls on Monday to ensure order during the by-election. At the close of the advance poll on Monday night, the FNM and the COI blocked the bus carrying the ballot box from exiting the voting grounds because campaign representatives were not in the bus. Following that standoff, election officials relented and allowed representatives from each party to accompany the ballot box to the Parliamentary Registration Department. Munro called the debacle reprehensible, saying, quote, according to the Parliamentary Elections Act, the persons who are in charge of the poll is the presiding officer. If somebody has an issue with the presiding officer, they can have reference in terms of the chain of command to the returning officer. If they're dissatisfied with what the returning officer says, they can have recourse to the parliamentary commissioner. Elections are not run by political parties. NBA champion Rick Fox is thinking about running in the next election. Fox, who appeared as a guest on Guardian Radio's Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ, said he has also met with both the FNM and the PLP about possibly joining one of them. Asked if he's thinking about running, Fox said, quote, I think about it. I talked about how much attention you're putting on something in your life. I would say 6 months ago I was thinking about it 30 minutes a week, now every 30 seconds. That's because there is an urgency. The people I speak with, the more are the next generation, people that are 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. The thing I get from them is that they aren't for the idea of politics anymore. They're not caught up in the color, the party, the this, the that. They either aren't voting, which breaks my heart because that means they have checked out, or they're looking to vote for the right person to represent them in their constituency, and they're not on this party line thing. From the courts, jury convicting Dondre Dre DeVoe of murder and attempted murder by a vote of 8-1. The 29-year-old was found responsible for the murder of Emmanuel Manny Brown and attempted murder of Samuel Fish Joseph. The charges stem from a shooting at a car wash on 7th Street in Coconut Grove on May 2nd, 2022. According to the evidence, Brown and Joseph were hanging out at the car wash when DeVoe came. He greeted them and asked Joseph to borrow $10. Joseph loaned him the money, and DeVoe returned a short time later, supposedly to repay the money. Joseph said he walked DeVoe out, and he suddenly pressed a gun to his temple and asked, "What are you dealing with?" DeVoe pulled the trigger, and Joseph ran. Both Joseph and Brown were shot multiple times. Brown was still alive when police arrived, and he allegedly named Dre from 8th Street as the killer before he took his last breath. Joseph, who lost his right eye as a result of the shooting, identified DeVoe in court. Joseph said he had known him for years as he frequented the family's home on 8th Street, and that he's known as Dre. The defense challenged the identification of DeVoe as the assailant due to poor lighting in the area. Justice Janine Weish Gomez will commence the penalty phase of the trial in January. DeVoe remains on remand. Overseas, a pair of Israeli strikes in Gaza, southern city of Khan Yunis, early today, killing 5 people, according to hospital officials, bringing the death toll from airstrikes in the Palestinian territory to about, in a roughly 12-hour period, to 33 now. The strikes have been some of the deadliest since October 10th, when a U.S.-brokered ceasefire came into force. The renewed escalation coming after Israel said its soldiers had come under fire in Khan Yunis on Wednesday. Israel said no soldiers were killed and responded with strikes. Officials at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis said they received the bodies of 17 people, including 5 women and 5 children, following 4 Israeli airstrikes targeting tents sheltering displaced people. In Gaza City, 2 airstrikes on a building killed 16, including 7 children and 3 women. Hamas condemned the Israeli strikes as a shocking massacre. In a statement, the group denied firing towards Israeli troops. In sports, the H.O. Nash Lions Junior Boys, the final team to experience championship glory as the 2025 GSSA Best of 3 Volleyball Championships came to a close at the Anatole Rogers High School Gymnasium Wednesday. The Lions retaining their Junior Boys volleyball crown with a 2-1 backdoor sweep of the A.F. Adderley Tigers. The Lions, the pennant winners, lost a 3-set thriller to the Tigers 22-25, 25-23, and 15-13 in the opening game on Monday. The champions returned to even the series with a 2-set victory on Tuesday, winning 25-23 and 25-19. In the final game of the series, they secured the championship with a 25-20, 25-21 victory. Lions head coach Celine Justilian pleased with the championship win. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. And WNBA player Jonquel J.J. Jones announcing her intention to join the Prospect B Women's Hoop League via social media Monday. Jones is now the 4th WNBA player to express interest in the newly established Global Startup League, which is expected to begin play in Europe and Asia in November of next year. The Grand Bahama native joins a growing list of WNBA players, now including WNBA All-Stars, including Alyssa Thomas and 3-time league champion Joelle Lloyd, making their announcement earlier in the week. Jones, who won the 2024 WNBA Championship and earned Finals MVP honors with the New York Liberty, expressing her excitement about the offseason opportunity, stating that she wants to be able to continue to play against the best players in the world, play with the best players in the world, and be able to see new parts of the world. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section as well. And Major League Baseball says it will comply with the Senate committee's request for documents detailing gambling investigations. Senators Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell of the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee in the U.S. sending a letter Monday to Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred asking for information by December 5th. The request follows indictments of Cleveland pitchers Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, accusing them of taking bribes to rig pitches for bettors. Both have pleaded not guilty. 2 days after the indictments were unsealed on November 9th, MLB said it authorized gaming operators to cap bets on individual pitches at $200 and exclude them from parlays. Manfred says they've taken these steps in terms of limiting the size of these prop bets and prohibiting parlays, calling it a really significant change that should reduce the incentive for anyone to be involved in an inappropriate way. He said it was too early to say whether MLB will take a stance on prediction markets in which contracts are traded based on actual events, such as game scores. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. It's time for your first look at weather, brought to you by Star General. A lingering trough near the southeast Bahamas continues to enhance shower chances across the area. Meanwhile, high-pressure ridging continues to support mostly stable conditions and moderate to locally fresh winds. That will continue through tonight. So for today, for most of the country, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds, turning mostly fair tonight. Only about a 10% chance of showers with occasional possible thunderstorms, but very slight chance. Slightly more elevated chance in the southeast Bahamas, a 20% chance of showers. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times for the extreme northern islands. Northeast to east at 15 knots with occasional gusts for most of the country. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs around 85, 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to the low to mid 70s for most of the country, the upper 60s for the extreme northern islands. That's your first look at weather this morning, brought to you by Star General, insurance made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
You're listening to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. I have a surprise in the studio. I'm actually surprised. We're going to get into that when we get back right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Attention RBC clients. To comply with regulatory requirements and to avoid service interruption, you need to update your information at your RBC branch. While you're there, enroll in RBC Digital Banking for 24/7 access to your accounts anytime, anywhere. Update your information and bank at your convenience with RBC Digital Banking today.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100. The wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Arrange a test drive before December 8th for a chance to win an Everything Christmas box. Visit easy242.com or call 461-0100 to get started.
At Cleveland Clinic, you set your course, not cancer. So when your journey takes an unexpected turn, you seek out the experts who've conquered it before, and you forge new paths to help fight cancers. For every route to a cure, for every care in the world. See how we're innovating cancer care at Cleveland Clinic today.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Bahamar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy. The kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Baha Mar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Baha Mar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
To my neighbors in Golden Isles, even the PLP candidate had to admit it. You've been ignored and neglected for years. 4 years in power, and now weeks before an election, they show up paving roads. But I never left you. I live here, I work here, and I serve you every single day. Let them know Golden Isles is not for sale. On November 24th, vote the name you know and trust. Brian Brown and the Free National Movement. I never forgot.
Paid for by the Free National Movement.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, and I had a big surprise live on air because she's not in Grand Bahama today. She's right here in the Guardian Radio studio, and she didn't tell me she was going to be coming. She gave me a little hint.
It was a maybe.
A maybe.
It was a maybe.
But then to see her walk in, like, what is this? But it's a great sight to behold. Good morning, Laverne Gardner.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to our listeners. It's a treat to be in studio today.
This is like, what,
with
your
you.
fifth time? Sixth?
Maybe my sixth time.
Yeah,
but you know what
not
I'm going to
enough.
say? If Guardian would fly me
There
in,
we
I'd
go.
be in here every Thursday.
Really?
Every Thursday.
All right. Well, we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
He
Or maybe
always
we'll
says
come up
that.
to you more often.
Whichever.
Yeah. Yeah, we can, we'll do it like a time share thing. Once a month at least. We'll be there or you come here. All right. Good to see you. We have a lot to talk about this morning, a lot going on in the news, but also we've got a big guest. We're going to be talking with PLP candidate for Golden Isles, Darren Pickstock, and we're hoping to have all the candidates on before the by-election on Monday. It's only a couple days left, right? So, hey, but that's coming up. But there is right now a lot to talk about in the news. And in the news, okay, where do we begin? The big headlines in both papers. F&M wants Campbell gone. F&M, remove Campbell now. That's returning officer Neil Campbell, who was working the Golden Isles by-election.
Yeah.
They're saying that there are too many conflicts of interest there. We're going to get to that story in a bit, because I think that's going to...
that's going to...
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that for most of the morning, I'm sure. Interesting development yesterday. Lots of surprises in the Guardian Radio studio over the past few days. So not only Laverne Gardner just showing up, but Rick Fox.
Yeah, he was here.
Right here in the studio yesterday on Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. And talking about a lot of things, a whole lot of things, including, I think, this is no surprise, that he is thinking about running in the next election.
Mm-hmm.
Running in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I don't think that was I don't think that was a surprise to anybody.
No
I mean,
surprise
and he'd
at all.
already indicated it. We've already seen a little, back and forth. So no surprise there.
No
Did he
surprise.
say which constituency?
Didn't say that and didn't say which party.
Is he going to run as an independent?
Yeah, I'm sure he would not. But
Why are you sure he would not? Why not?
If I were a betting man, I would not bet on that one.
Why?
We'll talk about that later. But let me read a little bit from this article, which is summarizing the interview yesterday. If you missed it, you can listen to it today. Later today, it'll be posted on our Guardian Radio podcast page on guardiantalkradio.com. You can listen to the whole thing there by mid-morning. But so our Travis Carroll writing about this. So NBA champion Rick Fox is thinking about running in the next election. Fox, who appeared as a guest on Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ, said that he's been approached by both. He's met both the PLP and the F&M about possibly joining one of them. Asked if he's thinking about running, Fox said, quote, "I think about it. I talked about how much attention you're putting on something in your life. I would say 6 months ago, I was thinking about it 30 minutes a week. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, every 30 seconds.
Okay.
That's more than the people who have already declared.
That's unfair.
What?
Don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. He went on to say, quote, "That's because there is an urgency. The people I speak with, the more are the next generation, people that are 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. The thing I get from them is that they aren't for the idea of politics anymore. They're not caught up in the color, the party, the this, the that. They either aren't voting, which breaks my heart because that means they are checked out, or they're looking to vote for the right person to represent them in their constituency, and they are not on this party line talk. I just hope they don't actually lose hope." Well, the Nassau Guardian was told that F&M leader Michael Pintard personally met with Fox and asked him to run for the party in Garden Hills.
Okay.
Fox said yesterday, quote, "I've spoken to both parties, PLP and F&M. I have a relationship with the current prime minister, so that's an easy conversation that's been going on for many years now, all the way back to when he was deputy prime minister, so that's an easy conversation. I've at times reached out to him for guidance and mentorship in the area of what it's like to be a politician. His advice was, quote, "The people will tell you if you are right for the frontline politics. I've met with the opposition leader, Michael, and we've had conversations. Between those two parties, I'm getting to know them." Fox said yesterday that Pintard has been the most aggressive in pursuing him. Sources in the F&M said the party was not keen on Fox representing Garden Hills because F&M chairman Dwayne Sands is eyeing that seat as well. Yesterday, Pintard had no comment when asked about the meeting with Fox. In 2022, Fox was appointed ambassador at large for sports. His father is a Bahamian. In November, and he went to school here, right? Yeah. In November 2022, Davis announced the government signed a memorandum of understanding with Rick Fox's sustainable building development company, Pantana Bahamas, to build up to 1,000 green homes over the next 10 years. With the promise to provide 100 jobs for Bahamians in the green development space, Pantana intends to design, develop, finance, and construct 30 affordable homes for the government during an initial pilot phase. Fox lamented yesterday that the company is doing more business internationally than at home.
Wow.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because nothing's happening here. If Fox decides to enter the political arena, he would be the second ambassador to do so, following Island Lux CEO Sebastian Bastien, ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary. Okay, I'm not going to try. Seeking the PLP's nomination for Fort Charlotte. Okay, interesting development there, right? But there's more. There's more.
He isn't seeking the nomination, though. Just correction.
If he is.
No.
Which one do you mean?
Ambassador Bastien. Yeah, it said he's seeking the nomination.
Oh, seeking the
seat
to be the. He's got the nomination.
Yeah, he's already the candidate.
Yeah. All right. So now in today's Tribune, there's an interesting story. Mitchell hints Fox should resign over political comments. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell appeared to rebuke Ambassador-at-Large Rick Fox yesterday, saying ambassadors serve the government that appoints them, and that the honorable course is clear if they disagree with the authority that put them in office. Mitchell made the remarks implying that Fox should resign in an audio statement congratulating 4 newly appointed ambassadors following a November 17th ceremony at Government House. He said he reminded them of their long-standing diplomatic practice, saying, quote, I made the following comments. All ambassadors resign once the general election confirms a new government, even if it is the same political party. An ambassador, of course, during his time represents the government in office, and no one has to tell him to resign for what he says or believes. If that ambassador has a difference of opinion with the appointing authority, the honorable course is clear to those ambassadors in those circumstances. We don't have to repeat that or tell that to an honorable person.
What's the point of this?
I don't know. The comments followed a public post from Fox, the former NBA star, appointed ambassador-at-large, who pushed back at PLP supporters, claiming he should not comment on the Golden Isles by-election because of his diplomatic role.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm more interested in the four newly appointed ambassadors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. Who are they? Are they all ambassadors at large as well? And
why are you interested? I mean, what's that gonna get you?
What's this story gonna get me that you reading?
So all of it, rather uninteresting. Basically,
I'm just saying. I'm interested in who are the new ambassadors and where they are appointed to. Is that a part of that story? No. Okay.
Not at all. Okay. Nobody cares. Mm-hmm. But okay.
Nobody. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, hey, good. Congratulations to them, whoever they are. So, Rick Fox, what do you make of it? Last week when Michael Pintar was on the show, we asked him about it. He had glowing things to say about him.
I'm watching this as this unfolds. Initially, when it came out in the media, I was like, I don't think so. This isn't so. But then he never denied it, and then he kind of went on and kept talking about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to hear all of the show that he did yesterday on Talking Heads, but I did hear some of it, and he made sure to really emphasize the fact that, hey, I've been here. This is where I've grown up. This is where I've been all. I don't want anyone to think. I mean, and he doubled down. I have never owned a home in Canada. So we'll see. That's all I'll say. Yeah. We'll see, because really,
what do you say, folks?
He can if he wants to. Like I said, he may decide to run independent. I don't know.
Never gonna happen. Never.
It's never going to happen.
That would never happen.
He'll align himself with whomever he decides to align himself to. And I'm just interested in finding out which constituency, like where he must. If you're thinking about this every, 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
If you're thinking about this every 30 seconds of every day, you must have an idea of where you would, one, like to run, and if there's a party that you want to align yourself with, who you want to align yourself with.
Or be thinking about seeing a therapist, because that's not healthy. Every 30 seconds.
That's like obsession.
It's very scary. Very scary. I don't think he thought about the NBA that much.
And I think that he I guess in talking he made it clear that just because he was appointed as an ambassador under this administration, he was not totally saying yes. I'm seeking a nomination from the Progressive Liberal Party.
Right. Wow. Let's hear from you. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to the phone lines, then we'll get to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Good morning, and welcome to your surprise in NASA today.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I don't believe that Mr. Fox should get a nomination against the persons who are sitting and waiting right here living in Nassau, Bahamas. And I'm also very thankful that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is responsible for the ambassadors, have asked him to do the honorable thing. Now, that is for both parties. Whoever parties is talking with him, there are people within those parties waiting for their nomination, and they were working in the constituency. If the constituency system had any purpose, then you can't have them doing the work, and then someone else, whether they are native Bahamian, born Bahamian, connected, whatever, high profile, and then come and just sweep the others away. So that's my 5 cents on that.
Okay. I hear you.
Again, he
that
may
happens
decide to run
every time, though.
independently, you know.
That happens every time.
Of course it does, right? Of course it does. But he may decide to run independently and not align himself with anyone.
That is not going to happen. Plenty of people will decide to do that, but not someone like him.
I don't know.
Okay. You'd be surprised to know. Anyway, caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Levin.
Good morning.
I listened quite intently yesterday when Fox was on the show. And, in essence, I thank him for his service to the country. I understood when he said, he used to think about this thing every 30 minutes. Now it's every 30 seconds. I don't think it's really an obsession. To me personally, I think he's really trying to weigh out his best options between which party he wants to go, if he does decide to go with a party, or like you so rightfully said, Levin, he may decide to run independent.
Yeah.
The issues of this country and what we're going through right now, really leaves a lot to be decided. Yeah, they said that the countries have made great strides in terms of bringing, improving the imagery of understanding of the country on the world stage. But yet the Bahamian people itself, it's like there's really no true benefit per se from a daily basis for us to really benefit from anything. And if Mr. Fox truly believes that he can make that difference by joining a political party and think his influence is going to bring about some positive change, then I think we're going to welcome that. Because right now, honestly, as it feels on the ground, it just feels like everything is just stagnant. So I wish him well in his endeavors, because to go into there and change a system that seems not to be working for us single-handedly, boy, he has a task on his hands to deal with. But thanks for taking my call. I'll continue to listen.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning, LaWarren, and welcome to New Providence.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I listened also yesterday with Nolly's show, and what I was getting from that show is that it appears that Mr. Fox really ain't interested in none of those parties, right? Because if you listen to what he's been saying from the things what's been happening over the years that people have been talking about immigration, the health, housing, all of those stuff, right? So for him to be saying all of those things, but what transpired over the years from these two parties, and then for him to align himself with either one of them, it ain't gonna look good, because it ain't gonna look good for him in any event, because I don't feel he interested in this, because he even mentioned it, the status quo is something he ain't really prepared to be a part of, and in my view, the PLP in there, for them, they represent just that. Now, I don't know what he's going to do or who he's going to align himself with, but just listening to him, it doesn't appear that he is interested in just jumping on to the same status quo systems, because they have been proven not really not grow this country in the way it should have been, and you could put that to the PLP in there for them feet. So I'm anxiously waiting to see what his choice is going to be also. But I think it's going to be, I think if he do decide to run Dwight, I can agree with you with this, it will be inside Garden Hills, but I don't think it would be with the PLP or the FNU.
Interesting. Okay. So you're suggesting COI? What are you saying?
Of course. Well, again, we don't know, right? And he has not made any kind of definitive decision as to what he is going to. Here's what we do know. He, much like many of us, looking at where we are in this country, where we should be, could be, and saying something has to change. And he is deciding how best he can help to usher in that change and how best he can contribute to this country going forward. And, many of us sit down and talk about it and say, we need to do something, but he's decided that his best way forward is to maybe, sorry guys, Dwight is redirecting my mic and throwing me off. Is it okay now, Dwight?
Better,
okay, great. And so he has decided that maybe he's going to go the political route. We'll see. Take
a couple more calls and we'll read your text messages and we're going to move on. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you all this morning?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Dwight, let me ask you a question. Which government was Rick Fox appointed as an ambassador under?
This one.
Okay. If Rick Fox knew the rules of government, if you're appointed as an ambassador for a particular government, right, you have to err on the side of the government's mandate. You can't just go willy-nilly and say what you want to say publicly, because if it seems as if that you are trying in a way to, instead of carrying out the government mandate, you got your own mandate. That's probably the reason why Fred Mitchell says he should resign, because if he's now speaking politically and not speaking on behalf of the government that appointed him, then he'll be more dangerous to the government than help. Okay?
I mean, we get what Fred Mitchell's saying. I mean, you agree that he should, is that what you're saying? What do you think?
No, I'm saying that if he wants to continue to be ambassador under any particular government, he should err on the side of that particular government instead of being controversial, because that's what's happening right now. Because, like you say, nobody knows which party he intends to go to or if he's going to go independent.
Okay, well, I'm sure...
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I'm sure he's doing us a favor by being an ambassador. I mean, people know him. This is, if he isn't, no biggie for him, I'm sure. But I don't know if that's the right
I'll
way.
tell you how I feel about these ambassadors and these appointments of ambassadors. For me, it's much like, what is it, where they sign, I forget the word. They sign like documents and stuff. Come on.
Not proxy.
No. They advertise all the time. They're not justice of the peace.
JPs.
JPs?
Yeah, that's what you mean?
Yeah. I maybe I shouldn't, but for me, a lot of, I'm like, what? Okay, is this just,
Well, I think that call and Fred Mitchell's comments will only steer him in the direction. You'll say, well, fine, since these people are having an issue.
Did Fred Mitchell say specifically that Rick Fox should resign, or he just is speaking generally?
You know exactly.
Well, maybe they need to have that private conversation. Okay.
They're helping to make a decision. Caller, you're on the air.
Dwight, Rick needs to resign, be fired, and go run in Canada where he spend his days, okay?
Okay. All right.
Well, there you go. There you have it.
Until he starts saying everything's wonderful, and then they'll say, we welcome him. That's how it is.
Of course.
All right. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. And good morning, LaWayne. A big surprise in studio, LaWayne.
Yes,
in the studio.
yes, I am.
It's a pleasure to have you in here, man.
It's always good to be here.
That idiot would get put in the comments just now. We all know how you go. But, Dwight, listening to the Rick Fox interview, he is not really feeling the PLP needed to after them. Especially how he talk about the healthcare, the hospital. He's really look like he's talking about under both governments, the healthcare was neglect. And when he's talking about how he's talk to the people them like around 22 to 40, he said, man, ain't none of them feeling the parties and ain't none of them feeling the colors and things like that. But what I'd like to say is, listening to that interview and Rick Fox's attitude and demeanor, our current system with our parties and our government, Rick Fox wouldn't last long in the man and no parties in government. Because he then say he ain't going to be no yes sir man, and then he say he want progress and he into doing this and getting it. That's what our governments and our people let me into. And you know how egos go with our prime ministers and things like that too, man. When Rick Fox come in there in the cabinet and try to tell them to do this and this small agent and things like that, they can say, man, you think you was prime minister and thing under our current system, man. So we don't wait. They ain't going to wait together with him like that. And think with his strong demeanor and things like that. And like when MJ asked me the question earlier on Talking Head, when I was saying, he said it too yesterday, you'll be able, as an independent candidate, you'll be able to get certain things done and things with this money and things like that. But certain things, like Freedom of Information Act and certain things with abortion and if a pregnant woman get killed for 2 murders, the government got to deal with that. There's certain legislation you have to deal with and certain things government. So you'll have to be in a government to get things done. You wouldn't really get things done as an independent candidate, even if he have the money. Right. But what I gather from him, F and M and PLP, if he ain't feeling them. And like he said, if they want, he done talk to both of them, and if they want him to join their parties, they have to get online with this and with that. Okay. And they look like they ain't going to be willing to get online with that. So our current system, it'd be hard for Fox to really try to do what he want to do.
All right. Thank you very much. So you said it, Laverne, independent, but there's another option.
What's that
he
other
could form
option?
His own party. There was a rumor about that a few days ago.
Do we need another party?
There are quite a few people floating out there who are not aligned or didn't get nominations.
The most expedient thing for him, though, is to decide, that if he is going to run, if he is not in alignment with the current government, then he would need to resign, right? And then he'll be free and clear to say what he wants to say, and he can make a decision from there.
Yeah. Well, there would certainly be quite a few people that he could align with if he were to go in the direction of a new party. Quite a few people who didn't get the nominations from their various parties who might be looking for a home.
So here's the thing about that. You support a party, you love this party, you talk about this party, you're getting in arguments with people, with family, with friends because of this party that you've so aligned yourself with and so committed to. You wear the colors, and so you make sure you don't wear any other colors because you need people to know. And then you put yourself forward. You say, you know what, I want to run in this constituency. And the party, for whatever reason, decides to go in another direction. And then all of a sudden, you hate this party. What's with that? Like, it's not a situation.
The Bahamian way.
It's not a situation where they've gone, their ideals have changed, and from your standpoint, morally, you can no longer. They didn't give you the nomination, and you're upset. So, and here's the other thing for me with that: not that you leave the party, because that's fine, but you go and you join a party that for the past how many ever years you were talking about they were awful, they are this, they are that, they're the next, and now you've aligned yourself with this party.
Well, you could avoid that by
forming
a new party.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. What changed? One, did that party that you were talking about, so awful and corrupt or whatnot and so forth, did they have a change?
Again,
and now you align yourself? Or did you now become corrupt and all of the things that you said that
you
party
bringing up
was?
Something totally different. I said you can avoid that by starting your own party.
We don't need another starting of your own party, Dwight.
You say that until it works. So let's get your reaction, folks. Final call, and then we'll get to your text messages. Yep. Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne. Welcome. Dwight put that question, I was surprised. I said to my mind, Laverne is here live in the living color.
You would have been correct.
I just want to make that comment. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. You can watch her. You can see her on GuardianTalkRadio.com or the Guardian Radio app.
I just want to say thank you, Sean, for sending me the names of the newest ambassadors. Dwight was no help, so thank you so much, Sean, for doing that.
Are you going to read it on there?
I'm absolutely going to read it because other people may be interested. So you can choose, Dwight, to take off your headphones so you don't have to hear because you're not interested.
I heard about it. But
we have Lowell Mortimer, Ambassador at Large Designate. We have Dr. Lorraine Bastian, Ambassador at Large Designate for Foreign Service Education and Training. We have Peter Nicholas Simonet, Non-Resident High Commissioner Designate to India. And then we have Winston Pinnock, Non-Resident Ambassador Designate to Italy.
All right, so the third name there.
Yes, Peter Nicholas Simonet.
Who's the head of the passport office. How does that work?
Well,
you wanted to go through this list.
Dwight, as I've said,
I'm just asking.
to you
I don't know how things work.
I don't know how that will work, but it'll work, right? Because that's the way
it's happening?
Is. Because it's happening.
I just don't
happening.
know. I mean, explain it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe it's a great thing.
Whomever appointed should give that explanation because no one called me and asked me. And like I said, you know how I feel about these ambassadorships.
You're hearing more about what ambassadors shouldn't say than what ambassadors can't be doing at the same time they're being ambassadors. But okay. This texture says, here's what I would say about Rick Fox. Bahamians, please stop expecting wealthy people to hand you $1 million if you hear about them in the Bahamas. No wealthy person has enough money to satisfy every greedy Bahamian they meet. Wow. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, nor Oprah has it. Wow, they can't, or they'd end up just like you. Hand out. Oh, stop looking for the easy. I don't know, but I think Musk might have enough for everybody on the planet.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Sorry. Stop looking for the easy handout road. Develop your brain and your skill. That's a path to personal wealth. Other than that, my hope for Mr. Fox is that he develops a team that doesn't look like the hangers-on from the other parties and are all thinking about how to move the Bahamas forward beyond school bags, Christmas turkeys, and Mother's Day roses. He can decide to resign or not, but it's certainly true that if he is such a problem for the administration, the Prime Minister can act at any time to fire him. Mm-hmm.
Listen, first of all, we don't, let's get it out of our head that somehow he's going to bring all of his money and he's going to be using his money to do things, because that's not going to happen. Okay? It's not going to happen.
You mean with him? But
yeah.
It's certainly happening with some other people.
It's not going to, it's not going to happen with him. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking, Rick Fox, he has blah, 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 and so now that's not going to happen. Mm. So we need to get that out of our head. And also, whether he whether he aligns himself with whomever, he's one person. He's one person, and he'll only do as much as his position will allow him to do within the confines of how our government works.
Yeah.
Right? So he's not going to come in as the Superman and right all of the wrongs. And a lot of times I think that we look to an individual. Oh, when this person comes in, they're going to do this, that, and the other. And they have to work in the confines of whatever.
All right, we've got a whole lot of these messages. Let's do these before we have to take a break. This person says here, an ambassador is an envoy for of the head of government. Their alliance is to the one who appointed them, so he should resign. That is the appropriate thing to do. He is expressing a political ambition, not aligned with the government who appointed him. This person says here, can you name at least 3 things that Rick Fox has ever done for Bahamians or the Bahamas? You want to do this with all the people who've declared an interest in running? Because that would be a very fun game. Let's do it. Let's do it. You'd be shocked who has a longer list. This person says here, has Ambassador Sebastian resigned as yet from being ambassador? No, but it seems like whatever he's expressing is in alignment with the government who appointed him. So maybe no one's calling for him to resign.
Oh well.
Fox says he wants to see a functional Freedom of Information Act in place. Maybe that's why Fox has Mitchell so up in arms. Okay. I don't mind Rick Fox running. He's honest, hands clean, and not broke. Trying to help
How
his
do we
Bahamian.
know that? How do we know that?
Any part. Trying to help his Bahamian people, we need to get rid of the cursed Moses crew.
Okay.
Has the ambassador done the honorable thing? Maybe he doesn't need to because he sucks up to the party, or maybe his money is important to the party. Yes, Fred has issues with another Fox potentially opposing him at the PLP. I don't see any reason why Rick Fox, a Bahamian, shouldn't run. I think he has a lot to offer to help in moving this country away from the old mindset that is not serving us well. This person is asking, what is Rick Fox's nationality? Okay, look it up. I agree with that caller, Mr. Fox, to join any of the major parties after all of this would be a sellout. I would love for him to take all those despondent young people he spoke about and form a new party to become prime minister, or at least form a foundation dedicated to holding every government accountable for their missteps. Okay.
You know, for me, we hear all of these things about what individuals say that they want to do, they would like to do, they're going to do, and then they get into government and you don't see it.
This is an interesting text as we get ready to go to the break. This person says your Bahamians are correctly acknowledging that we need change. Unfortunately, many would fight and buckle under the changes that they say they need and want. That is the truth.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
That's very true, Dexter.
Wow. And this person says here, think it's safe for Fox to what? Fox safe to say he won't be going to the PLP, judging by PLP spokespeople's comments. Yeah, seems you really are getting into having celebrities as MPs. Fox should be an activist, not a politician. Remember, they will say all the right things before the vote. Interesting. We'll pick this up and more after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm Marcela Sanchez with an AP News Minute. President Trump has signed a bill that would require the Justice Department to release all files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days. Trump says he'll be meeting with New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani in Washington later this week, setting up an in-person clash between the political polar opposites who for months antagonized each other from afar. In North Carolina, federal agents have now arrested more than 250 people during an immigration crackdown centered around Charlotte, the state's largest city. The top prize of Entertainer of the Year at the 2025 Country Music Association Awards went to none other than Lainey Wilson, who hosted, performed, and barely left the stage last night. World shares surged after NVIDIA reported stronger than expected quarterly earnings. More information at apnews.com. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. In your real-time traffic, we, as usual, seeing heavy traffic on Mila Butler Highway from Fire Trail straight up to Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway if you're heading northbound, and traffic backed up a bit along Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway westbound to that roundabout with Mila Butler Highway. Some slow-moving traffic eastbound on Harold Road towards that roundabout as well. Elsewhere, we've got Carmichael seeing some heavy traffic, but moving traffic, but it's slowing down quite a bit near Faith Avenue and Mila Butler Highway. And again, picking up for you just east of Fire Trail on the way to Blue Hill Road, so heavy traffic. The closer you get to that junction, and Blue Hill Road's going to be busy for you from St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive, especially north of Carmichael and near Soldier, not looking pretty there. Independence Drive, slow-moving westbound traffic, and East Street, north and south of the Soldier Road intersection, seeing some heavy northbound traffic as well. Robinson Road is not a place to be if you're between Soldier and Marathon Road, East-West Highway. Heavy westbound traffic for you this morning. Prince Charles Drive, on the whole, seeing slow-moving westbound traffic, especially near Beatrice Avenue and heading towards Soldier Road. Marathon's got very heavy traffic northbound to the Wolf Road roundabout. Wolf Road backed up in both directions near that roundabout as well. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic. Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your goals happen here. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a lingering trough near the southeast Bahamas that will continue to enhance shower chances across the area. Meanwhile, high-pressure ridging continues to support mostly stable conditions and moderate to locally fresh winds across the country through tonight. In your extended outlook, high-pressure ridging will continue to produce moderate to locally fresh winds along with some possible light spotty showers through the weekend. On Monday, another frontal boundary is expected to enter the northern Bahamas with little fanfare and become stationary across that area, the northwest Bahamas, at least by Tuesday. So for today, a mix of sun and clouds from most areas, turning fair tonight. High temperatures in the mid-80s, around 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the low to mid-70s for most areas, about 22, 23 Celsius. The extreme northern Bahamas could see lows in the upper 60s, around 19, 20 Celsius. In your extended outlook, mix of sun and clouds again for Friday and Saturday into Sunday and the start of the work week on Monday. Relatively low chances for rain, only about a 10 to 20% chance for most areas. The tropics are quiet, tropical cyclone formation not expected in the next 7 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Mom, the Christmas cookies are ready. Leave them right here under the tree for
Santa or for CIBC Caribbean. 'Tis the season for dreams to come true. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
The best way to get difficult things done is simple. Just work harder than anyone else. I know because that's my life story. I'm Darren Pickstock, PLP candidate for Golden Isles. I have a detailed plan for Golden Isles. And even though we have less than a year, I'll prove just how much we can accomplish. I am ready to get game-changing things done. I'm Darren Pickstock, and I hope you'll honor me with your vote on November 24th. Let's start working together.
Paid for by the Progressive Liberty Party.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Mommy, are you writing to Santa too?
You have Santa. I have CIBC Caribbean. CIBC has sweetened the season so you can bring your holiday dreams to life and wrap a new home or land with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
For quite a while. Serving since 2021. This time around is Brian Brown. B is for Brian, B is for Brown. Golden Eyes and the FNM taking over town. B is for Brian, B is for Brown. Golden Eyes and the FNM taking over town. Brian Brown.
This message has been brought to you by the Free National Movement.
Under the distinguished patronage of Thelma Hanna, Louis Clare Jr. presents Emmanuel Has Come, an evening concert celebrating the birth of Christ our Savior. It all happens one night only, November 22nd, 7:30 p.m. at the Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church, located on Tonique Williams-Darling Highway. Admission is free, so come out and be blessed. An offering will be lifted. This ad has been sponsored by Screws and
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
You can't stop change. On the other hand, one of the worst things about life is every day changes, even good things. We stress out on many things that we can't control. It makes us lose our bearing, forget the goal. We can't change the weather, the future no people.
All right, we have a whole lot of your text messages to get to, but we're going to get to that a little bit later. Let's get to the big headline in the Guardian, in all the papers today, especially the National Guardian. FNM wants Campbell gone. FNM Chairman Dwayne Sand says Neil Campbell is conflicted and they don't want him to be a returning officer. Take a listen to this report from our Vonik Toot.
The Free National Movement has penned a letter to Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson requesting the removal of Neil Campbell as returning officer. It comes after Campbell likened Prime Minister Philip Davis to an adopted father.
This letter has been written. We are dead serious. We expect
a written response and the appointment of a suitable, a fit and proper person to be the returning officer by Monday.
In a letter dated November 19th and addressed to the Parliamentary Commissioner, Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwight Sands said returning officer Neil Campbell should not serve in that capacity, adding the party is requesting that he be removed from the role and replaced with a more suitable officer. It comes one day after Campbell told reporters that his ties run across party lines, noting FNM leader Michael Pintard is his cousin. He has known FNM candidate Brian Brown since his childhood, and he calls Prime Minister Davis his adopted father.
He was the campaign general for the Prime Minister in a previous election. That is as partisan as it gets. Do we just say, well, he is now reformed and that he can be expected to be impartial? I don't think so. The son of the Prime Minister is not a fit and proper person to be the returning officer. That conflict would never be allowed in any other jurisdiction. So why should we allow it in the Bahamas?
Sands stressed the electoral process must not only be fair and impartial, but must be seen to be fair and impartial. He dismissed Campbell's claim that the chaotic end to the advance poll on Monday was a result of confusion, as some political parties sent different representatives to each meeting with PRD officials.
No less a person of standing than Khalil Parker, KC, would have articulated in no uncertain terms what transpired in those meetings as it relates to the understanding of the Free National Movement. If the returning officer and/or the parliamentary commissioner is suggesting that Mr. Parker has prevaricated, that he has lied, that he has told an untruth, then, go on the record and say so. It is clear that what was agreed before the advance poll did not happen, and that efforts were being made to change the script throughout the day, up until the final hour. Not only did we not believe that what transpired was what had been agreed, but the coalition felt likewise.
It comes as the Parliamentary Registration Department prepares for the Golden Isles by-election on Monday. The Progressive Liberal Party said in a statement, the FNM chairman's letter is built on distortion and fear, adding every word is an insult to the men and women who serve the country with integrity. The statement continues, Neil Campbell is a public officer who has served across multiple administrations, a man who has overseen election after election with professionalism, and a man who has never worn a political shirt or acted as a political figure. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonik Toot.
All right, we got to go to the news. We got about 15 seconds. What do you say here? Does it work to say it's a tiny country? There will be conflicts. At least he's acknowledging them.
There will be, but in certain positions, you have to be neutral.
Yeah, we'll pick this up on the other side. Plus, we got Darren Pickstock. Stay with us, folks.
But yet we focus on them all the time. We must accept the things that we cannot change. Try to stop pointing fingers and assigning the blame. Courage is needed to fix what we can. Use wisdom to know the difference. Be a better man. Cause it is what it is. Ain't nothing you can do. Yes, it
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Everything you own in the box to the left. In the closet, that's my stuff. Yes, if I bought it, baby, please don't touch. Don't touch. And keep talking and that's fine. But could you walk and talk at the same time? Then it's my name that's on that tag. So remove your back, let me call you a cab. Standing in the front yard, telling me how I'm such a
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner in the studio. Here in Nassau. Can you believe it? That's a song the FNM sending to Neil Campbell. Campbell's a nice guy, though. We've done a few shows with him. But I guess that's not... We're not talking about that. We're not talking about nice. We're not talking about who you're related to.
Right.
We're talking about conflicts of interest and whether this is appropriate.
Exactly.
And, oh, boy. And it seems a lot of people think this is a challenge. This is a problem. And it doesn't matter who all you are related to on both sides or all sides. This could be seen as an issue. But this is something I said a couple of days ago. I mean, but we do know that people can be impartial, that people can allow...
For sure.
Will not allow their relationships to cloud their judgment and keep them from being professional.
Right.
So are we not to give people the benefit of the doubt?
I think that we can give people the benefit of the doubt, but in doing that, that person has to recognize the office that they're in, and they have to be on guard, watch their words. You could be related to someone, have a good relationship with someone, but because of the office that you're holding, you don't need to tout that relationship in a public forum, right? That doesn't make you any less related. But of course, because of the office that you're holding, you want people to see you as unbiased, as neutral, as fair. So in the spirit of fairness, you have to watch your words. You have to watch your alliances, who you align yourself with publicly. Because again, the office that you hold is going to be under heavy scrutiny for fairness. So for example, right? You don't need to list that this one is like a brother to you. Right. The next one is like a father to you. The next one is your cousin. You don't need to do that. You don't need to have people feeding you anything, and certainly have a picture of people feeding you something, and it's all over the place. So that's poor judgment. We have to exercise better judgment. I'm not saying that Mr. Campbell, that he is biased. I'm not calling him that and saying that he did something, but I'm just saying it's the appearance. And so you have to be careful.
So it seems that for some, the bigger issue is not that he's related to anybody or that he considers anybody to be a father figure or a brother or whatever, but the fact that he was potentially a campaign manager. And that one there might be the biggest no-no
I think,
in this whole situation.
And it's okay when people appoint you to say no. That's the other thing. It's okay. If you know that you were the campaign manager for someone, or you were someone very prominent in a particular party, and this goes to all parties, and here it is now, you're being asked to do something where you're supposed to have the look of impartiality. Perhaps say, you know what? Given the fact that just 6 months ago, 3 months ago, I was the standard bearer, I was the campaign manager, I was the whatever. As much as I would like to, I think that maybe not. Can we do that? Is that okay? Is that fair?
Boy. Hey, give us a call. Tell us what you think. 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's hear from you on this matter. All right. This texter says, COI and an independent are running. Is he related to them so they can feel comfortable?
I don't know. And you know what? I'm hoping that he does not respond and answer that.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know. We don't need to know. We don't need to know. Right. We don't need to know.
It's my best friend from primary school. No. Caller, what say you on it? Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again to you guys.
Hi.
Good morning.
Like I said, I was one of the agents that helped close the polls on Monday. And I can tell you this, emphatically speaking, Mr. Campbell was very impartial towards any one of the agents in the room. On both agents who were keep requesting for some things to be done were the COI and the F&M. And Miss Michaela Barnett was one of those, okay? And she could, I mean, if she want to speak the truth, she could tell that Mr. Campbell was very impartial towards anybody. Okay, once it was within the bounds of the law, he allowed it to happen, okay? This is the reason why we took so long in the polls when the poll closed, because some agents were asking for those envelopes to be sealed also at the bottom. And he allowed it to happen and allow all of us to sign, one agent from each party to sign the envelope at the bottom also, okay? So I don't know where Mr. Dwayne Sands is going with this, because like Mr. Campbell said, he's also the cousin of Mr. Michael Pendad, okay? But as far as the election that took place, Mr. Campbell didn't pull sides for nobody. He followed the law, strictly followed the law. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Let's take another call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there?
And thank you to that caller, because he was there. And so thank you for giving us your fair and impartial
you're a troublemaker. You're a troublemaker.
I'm not.
You're bringing your
I'm
Grand
just
Bahama
saying.
ways here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning to both of you, and thank you for taking my call.
Oh,
Good morning, Dr. Sands.
So, this is all about perception and the process being seen to be absolutely impartial. So there are 20 ministries in the government of the Bahamas. What are the odds that the returning officer for the Golden Isles by-election would happen to be the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, where it just happens that one of the candidates is a chairman of a Ministry of Agriculture corporation, the AIC. Now, is that maybe a little bit random, since you have 19 other permanent secretaries that you could have chosen, all of whom have had experience with elections, but you happen to pick the one that works with one of the candidates? Two, you have a scenario where, by his own admission, out of his own mouth, he has a very close relationship with the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, our Prime Minister. He says it's like an adopted father. Okay, so let's say that maybe it was just a random occurrence that the PS for Agriculture was chosen, and a random occurrence that there's a relationship like son and father, right? But is it also a random occurrence that he served as a campaign general for the Prime Minister? When you put those things together, there are many other reasonable choices that could have been made. And to protect the process, for it to be seen to be fair, we say, just find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an accusation of wrongdoing,
Mm-hmm. You don't feel that he has been unfair?
No, we have not made that statement. Okay, we said that what was agreed would happen did not happen, but we did not impugn the character of the gentleman, and I am not going to impugn the character of the gentleman. It is a very simple thing to say this does not look right. International observers are looking on at us and saying, "What are you not doing? What kind of third world stuff is this?" So you have all of these qualified civil servants who do not have these conflicts. Pick one of them.
Yeah. So what happens next? What is the FNM going to do next? If nothing changes here, where do you go from here?
Dwight, I think the Bahamian people ought to be outraged and simply demand that, we've had a parliamentary democracy for almost 300 years. Let's defend this thing, because governments come and governments go.
Okay.
The public should say, look, this ain't no big deal. Come and whisper in the ear and say, "Hey, my brother, just stand down, man. Let somebody else do this. No skin off your back. Nobody's saying you're doing anything wrong." I resigned from a whole ministry. I ain't do nothing wrong. Sidney Colley was asked to resign as minister with responsibility for local government. You recall that 2008, I believe it was.
We do. Mm-hmm.
No fault of his own. And he did so because he wanted to protect the integrity of the process. That is what an honorable man or woman does. Because this is bigger than each of us as an individual.
Yeah. Okay. F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands, thank you so much. Appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Let's take some calls really quickly. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Darren Pickstock, the PLP candidate for the Golden Isles by-election, just a few days away now. But let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, he calling back. For the first time, I can agree with Dr. Sands, because this matter really is bigger than the PLP, FLM, or COI. We have to protect the Bahamas face on in the world. We were doing this election for so long, and and we became to be a nation what is known for having like safe and we could say proper election. So we have to keep that tradition going, man. We can't move away from that. So I believe that the good gentleman, right, all due respect to him also, he needs to for the sake of the country, move on the side. Have a nice day.
Okay. One or two more calls. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning and welcome to town, Laverne.
Thank you. When y'all call and say that, you really make me feel welcome.
You are very welcome. What I wanted to add to is I agree with Dr. Sands and the caller before me that to me it looks bad as an outsider looking in. I don't know what personal they say he is Mr. Pintard's cousin. He seemed to be more closer to Mr. Davis than he is to Mr. Pintard. So on both sides, he needs to step back because he's the cousin of one and he's considered himself a stepson to the other. So he should step down and just for the look of it, to make it look good. I don't understand why it's so easy that I can remember. I may be wrong, that it's so easy for the F&M persons to step down. Mr. Simonet, Mr. Sands, Mr. Corley, and others, they just find it easier to walk away just for the look of it. But the PLP don't seem to see the same thing. They don't see nothing wrong with whatever it is that they do, no matter how you may cry and say it looks bad.
No,
I don't get it. I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it always seems easier. Pardon me?
Yeah, that might be a stretch. I don't know if we can say that.
No, but if you look at it, can you tell me of the PLP persons who have found themselves in the same situation walk away versus those in the F&M side?
I don't think you can say it based on the party. I think it's based on the situation. So
it is based on the situation and based on personalities too. Because if you feel like they're looking at you wrongly and badly, you should walk away even for your own self.
Okay. Well, we've got examples on both sides. So, but hey, okay. One more call, and then we got to go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Good morning, and thanks for taking my call, Dwight.
Hi.
To Mrs. Gardner Laverne, welcome to the island of sunny New Providence. The sun is shining. Just welcome you here.
Thank you so much.
I trust that you enjoy your stay here in our islands and come again and bring some of your friends with you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, Dwight, my question, please educate me. Is Mr. Campbell, does he work in the parliamentary registrar's office?
No. He's a permanent secretary. He's a permanent secretary. Permanent secretary with the Ministry of Agriculture.
So, how does one become a returning officer? Is that just at the whim and fancy of the who? Who decides that?
I actually don't know. I think a lot of these are volunteers, people who have come forward to assist. But we can get we're going to have them on shortly. Actually,
yeah, please, because I need to know. You just can't decide, and I agree with Mrs. Gardner. When you're in a certain position, you are judged more in the terms of the public court of opinion, because if the public sees you as being conflicted or whatnot, then stay out and say, listen, People know we are such a small country that everybody knows just about everybody else. All right. Now, this thing with Rick Fox, right? I think, Rick Fox, the ministers, the cabinet ministers, they serve at the pleasure of the Prime Minister. Mr. Mitchell, did he appoint Mr. Fox?
I doubt it.
Okay, so, the Prime Minister should be the one speaking on this particular issue. Mm-hmm. And he should be the one addressing Mr. Fox.
He didn't say this directly to Rick Fox. He just
made
said
a
this
general
is general ambassadors if you don't agree.
Right, but then he should have called the Prime Minister and tell Mr. Prime Minister, real Mr. Fox said,
oh, I bet he
him
has.
off his ambassadorship or whatever it is.
I'm sure that conversation's been had. But thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm sure they're having that conversation as often as Rick Fox is thinking about running for office every 30 seconds. This is Morning Blend. We're back with Darren Pickstock after the break. Stay with us.
Here's the show-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list. And trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh, yeah. We also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp,
clays.
stew shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Smooth R&B nights under the stars are back. Soulful Sunday. Join us for Soulful Sunday Volume 4. Sunday, November 30th at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruise Pool. Hosted by Rika C. and Das Quay. Featuring live performances by the Essence Band, Donnie and Zavi. Plus, Navandria Lyric. Gates open at 6 p.m. and the show starts 7 p.m. Sensational live music. It's a night of dancing. Soulful. Sing along with today's and yesterday's hits. Flashbacks of the time we had. Have a few sips and kick off the holiday season at the waterfront. Tickets are just $35, $45 at the door. Get yours now at BahamasEtickets.com. Join us for Soulful Sunday, Volume 4. Sunday, November 30th at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruise Port.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Join the Bahamas Heart Association for its inaugural golf tournament, proudly presented by Visa and Fidelity Bank on Sunday, November 30th at the spectacular Royal Blue Golf Club. Every swing brings hope and healing to young hearts. Gather your team and play with purpose or make a donation. Tee off for Tiny Hearts because every heartbeat deserves a chance. For more details, contact the Surfing the Sassoon Heart Foundation at sassoonheartfoundation.org.
The
wait is over. The all-electric Geely Radara pickup is back at Easy Car Sales. Choose from 5 all-new 2026 models, complete with dual cab comfort, impressive cargo space, great towing ability, and tech features straight from the future. The perfect pickup for both work and play is 100% electric elegance, complete with factory warranty. Arrange a test drive before December 8th for a chance to win an Everything Christmas box. Visit easy242.com or call 461-0100 to get started.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Bahamian families, mark your calendars. On Sunday, November 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the British Colonial Hilton. Meet 13 of Canada's top CAIS-accredited boarding schools. Join our schools for a casual yet informative Canadian reception directly following the Betty Walker Fair. Discover how CAIS boarding schools offer small classes, personalized support, and a safe, inclusive community that prepares students for success at top global universities. Don't miss it. Sunday, November 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the British Colonial Hilton.
Get ready for Rewind Music Festival.
Music.
Saturday, November 22nd at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruise Pool. Hosted by Fresh International and Lancelot. Featuring an all-star DJ lineup. Tico T, DJ Fine, Slow Giant, Pusha Jr., OVO Moore, Black Cheney, and more. Bringing the heat. Reggae to soca. Hip-hop, dancehall, and everything in between. Gates open 7 p.m. General admission 30, 45 at the door. Don't miss Rewind Music Festival. Saturday, November 22nd at the Amphitheater. Your place to be for vibes.
The best way to get difficult things done is simple. Just work harder than anyone else. I know because that's my life story. I'm Darren Pickstock, PLP candidate for Golden Isles. I have a detailed plan for Golden Isles. And even though we have less than a year, I'll prove just how much we can accomplish. I am ready to get game-changing things done. I'm Darren Pickstock, and I hope you'll honor me with your vote on November 24th. Let's start working together.
Paid for by Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
Cool down with the latest Frosty flavors at Wendy's. Savor the Caramel Crunch Frosty, which combines a creamy texture with a satisfying toffee nut crunch. Or indulge in the fresh and tangy taste of the Lemon Cake Frosty. Or enjoy the sweet and chocolatey goodness of the Cookies and Cream Frosty. These new Frosties are only here for a good time, not a long time. So head to your nearest Wendy's and grab your favorite flavor today. Gotta be chili, gotta be Frosty.
Do you know who's giving you a $1,500 cash rebate? None other than Chevrolet. Test drive the classy LTZ-trimmed Colorado truck, or the Sporty Trax RS, or the family-friendly Captiva SUV, or the fuel-efficient Groove. Whatever your choice, you'll be riding safe with a 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranty from a dealer that has been around for over 85 years. Get down to Nassau Motor Company on Shirley Street and select a model that gives you $1,500 cash rebates. Chevrolet, built with the innovative technology you trust.
How do we say thank you to our valuable customers? By celebrating Thanksgiving all month long. Buy more and save more with up to 15% off your favorite fragrances and cosmetics. This November, come shop with us and save at any of our 5 convenient locations. Bay in Parliament, Bay in East, Palmdale, Marathon Mall, or Old Fort Town Center. Happy Thanksgiving from your friends at the Perfume Bar.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Your final check of weather brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. So we've got a lingering trough near the southeast Bahamas that continues to enhance shower chances across the area. High pressure ridging will support mostly stable conditions and locally to fresh breezes. High pressure will continue to produce moderate to locally fresh breezes into the weekend until another frontal boundary moves near the northern Bahamas by Tuesday and across the northwest Bahamas by that day. So in the meantime, for now, today, a mix of sun and clouds turning mostly fair at night. That's going to hold straight through the weekend into Monday. Look for high temperatures today and throughout the next few days in the mid to upper 80s, lows in the low to mid 70s. And the tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're ready to paint, Sherwin-Williams has top quality paints, pro tips, and everyday deals that make it easy to get started. Final look at traffic brought to you by Anyway Insurance Agents and Brokers. We're seeing some slow-moving traffic in parts of Eastern Road if you're heading westbound. Prince Charles Drive as well, same story, westbound, and very slow-moving traffic once you get west of the Soldier Road intersection into Robinson Road, straight up to Old Trail, but even on the way to Marathon as well. Marathon, slow-moving northbound traffic and heavy traffic for you on the Wolf Road side, just east and west of that roundabout with Marathon, especially as you get closer to East Street. And then we're still seeing heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway, just north of Fire Trail on the way to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway, and Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you from Carmichael to Independence Drive, mainly northbound, westbound heavy on Independence Drive as well. Saunders Beach on West Bay Street, heavy traffic for you eastbound near New Providence Highway. Those are your hotspots. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Whether you prefer face-to-face chat or handling things online, they've got you covered. Visit NUAinsurance.com for an instant motor quote or stop by your nearest branch today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Pick me, you acting like you don't know what to do. Pick me, shawty, you know who you should choose. Pick me, I'll show you what love is like.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner in studio, and we're very happy to have with us this morning the PLP candidate for the Golden Isles by-election coming up on Monday, just days now. Darren Pickstock is with us. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. It's good to be here. Good morning Laverne.
Morning.
Good.
All right, so we have a lot to talk with you about, only about an hour or so. But while we're on this topic, we just got finished talking with this, the big headlines in the papers today about the returning officer for the advance poll on Monday. The FNM says that he's got too many conflicts of interest, that he needs to go. I want to get your view on this. You heard Dr. Dwayne Sands, the FNM chairman, call in a few minutes ago saying that it's not just the relationships, it's his position as a permanent secretary and your former position with BAIS. All of this is just too close for comfort. What do you say to all of that?
Well, I mean, look, Dwight, it was so unfortunate what transpired that evening, and you know the things that triggered the leader of the opposition's sudden, and I would say sudden outbursts and uncivil behavior, if you ask me. I mean, I was there at the Remnant Tabernacle when he attempted to block the ballot boxes from being transferred to the Parliamentary Registration Department. Sometime around 3 p.m. thereabout, there was a meeting with all of the representatives of the various parties, and it was agreed that ballot box, by all parties, it was agreed that ballot box would be transferred to parliamentary registration in the van that it was initially being transferred in.
Mm-hmm.
There was no disagreement. In fact, before that 3 o'clock meeting, days before, all three parties met at the parliamentary registration along with their representatives and their attorneys, etc., the media, the police, everyone, and there were agreements made. And so it was quite shocking to see what unfolded on that day, right? And unfortunate, because the reality about this is our kids and our children are looking on. They are looking on, and they are trying to determine in themselves, well, is this how adults behave? So, I have a 15-year-old who was scared out of his wits because he came there that night. And he does not want to come back out.
Mm.
He doesn't want to, he said, Dad, what happened? Is this how adults behave?
Mm-hmm. What do you account for the breakdown? I want to get back to Campbell in a bit, but what do you account for the breakdown in the communication there? If these agreements were in place, how did it go so wrong?
Because honestly,
just tilt your mic up just a little bit for us.
I do believe that reaction is tantamount to what the FNM and COI are seeing on the ground. I'll say that. That is what they're seeing on the ground. They are reacting to what they are seeing on the ground, because I have no other explanation.
When you say that, what do you mean they're reacting to what they're seeing on the ground?
They are reacting to the overwhelming support that the Progressive Liberal Party is getting on the ground. That's what I mean, right? And they are reacting to the notion that they believed somehow that their candidate, in particular one candidate, had it all locked up on the ground. And they are finding out, and we are finding out as we go door to door, that nobody knows this gentleman overwhelmingly like they are trying to portray, right? And so what they're seeing on the ground right now is precisely what they're reacting to. Because for the life of me, if we went as adults, if we agreed a position, and at 3 o'clock that day we agreed that, well, okay, this is precisely how it's going to happen. On the advance poll day at 3 o'clock, there was a meeting, and it was agreed that this van, would carry those boxes. That was agreed.
Yeah. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you think that this is related to all of these calls for Campbell to step aside as well, related to what you're saying about reading
let me say this,
the
Dwight.
ground?
Let me say this. We are a small country, and there are relationships, and me and you may be related, Dwight. Okay? That's the kind of country we live in. Wouldn't you say? We live in a small country. You heard Mr. Campbell say that he's the cousin of Michael Pintard. That is the kind of country we live in. So what are we going to do every time this happens? Because I guarantee you I can trace family relationships with a lot of people in other positions, right? Is this how we're going to start to operate?
All right, so we got a text this morning. Someone says, if you've ever served as a campaign general, you should never be an election officer. You should never be a returning officer. What do you say to that? Do you agree with that? Is there a possibility that there could be a conflict?
Again, Dwight, I come right back to it. This country is small, and you are going to, this isn't the first time this has happened, and this is not going to be the last time it has happened. And when I say this, not this particular situation, but generally speaking, where you may be sitting somewhere and you can point to the individual making a decision where you can say, you know what, we have some family relations down the line. Mm-hmm. You can do it. I guarantee you, it happens all the time. All right? But you have to look at what factually happened on the ground. I was there. I was at the meeting. I was at the meeting. And at all times, Mr. Campbell acted impartially. At all times, professionally. And so it's shocking. But I want to talk about Golden Isles.
Yeah.
I want to talk about my representation.
We want to talk about Golden Isles. We want to talk about you. We want to find out more about Darren Pickstock and a whole lot more. We've got a lot of questions for you. We're going to go to the news, break very quickly, and then we'll pick this up on the other side. We are talking with the PLP candidate for the Golden Isles by-election, Darren Pickstock. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Determined to ensure a more peaceful by-election voting process Monday, National Security Minister Wayne Munro says the Defence Force Commodore has agreed to deploy a quick reaction team to the polls to keep the peace and maintain order. That after upset F&M and COI leaders blocked a van carrying the ballot box for the advance poll Monday night, action which Munro called reprehensible.
The Commander Defence Force will make available to the Parliamentary Commissioner a number of quick reaction forces, and I've asked them to coordinate with the police to ensure that any party trying to disrupt the peace of an electoral place, that order can be maintained.
Munro also dismissed the F&M's request that Neil Campbell be removed as presiding officer for the by-election because of his close connection to the Prime Minister, who Campbell has described as his adopted father. Munro argued he could go to every public official and find some connection to someone in the PLP or F&M because this country is so small. He accused F&M leaders of being desperate. Still, F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands says Campbell, by his own admission, is too conflicted to do that job, and he feels the disorder of Monday's voting process proves it. And an 81-year-old man was shot by officers this morning after he reportedly opened fire on them during a search of his home. We're told police were executing a search warrant at the property along West Bay Street when the man refused to open the door to a third-floor room. When officers breached that door, he allegedly opened fire on them, and they returned fire, wounding that man to his elbow and buttocks. He's now in hospital in stable condition. Police say officers were searching for illegal guns and drugs and did retrieve 2 firearms and some ammunition from that home. A 66-year-old female resident there was also arrested. That's what's making headlines at this hour. AP Update is next.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for 2, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
From around the world, these are the AP International News headlines. Israeli strikes across Gaza over a roughly 12-hour period have resulted in the deaths of at least 33 people. The The strikes late Wednesday and early Thursday have been some of the deadliest since October the 10th, when the US brokered ceasefire came into force. Hospital officials say Israeli strikes, although reduced, have not stopped entirely since the ceasefire. The latest strikes in Gaza come as Israel also killed 13 people in southern Lebanon. Top European diplomats stressed that Ukraine and Europe must be involved in any efforts to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Polish Foreign Minister Radoslav Sikorski.
It's, of course, Europe's security that's at stake. So we expect to be consulted.
Reports of a US-Russian peace proposal have increased pressure on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky is working to maintain European support while dealing with a major corruption scandal. I'm Karen Shamas.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner, and we are talking with Darren Pickstock, the PLP candidate for Golden Isles this morning. Again, good to have you with us. All right, so tell us about you. Who is Darren Pickstock?
Well, Darren Pickstock is a husband. He's a father, chairman of BAIC, a former senator, and a proud nationalist is what I would describe myself, a hard worker. And as my slogans say, he's a man of action. Mm-hmm. I believe in public service, and politics should be about community, it should be about trust, and it should be about action. Mm-hmm. That's how I would describe myself, as a proud nationalist, as a hard worker, as someone who has pulled himself up from the bootstraps, as someone who has worked hard all of his life and is focused on and very result-driven, I would say.
Yeah. Tell us about that part. We hear that in your ads about pulling yourself up and working yourself up. Tell us about that process for you.
Well, for me, I would say, I started as a little boy. I started mowing grass. I had my lawnmower strapped to my bicycle.
Oh, wow.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I was lawning grass.
Yeah.
Right? And, when I went to William Gordon Primary School, around the 6th grade, I started packing bags at Kenneth Food Store. Mm-hmm. And that was the point in my life that really shaped my work ethic. Mm-hmm. Because you had to work hard. I mean, I was only so big, Dwight. Mm-hmm. And so I had to fight.
Yeah. Oh, it's tough.
For my pack, for my spot, right? Because I know that at the end of the day, I was responsible for paying the phone bill in the house.
Oh, wow.
And I was responsible on Sundays for bringing groceries home. On Saturday night, once the store closed, I was responsible for bringing the meat home to cook. and I was also responsible for my uniform. Yeah. I worked hard, right? And that is what shaped me.
It's a lot of pressure for a young kid.
Well, no. I mean, I was always a matured individual, right? And so it wasn't any pressure from my parents. I was always matured. I always wanted my own stuff, right? That was just me, right? I became, at Kenneth Food Store, I became a shelf boy and a butcher. When I graduated from government high school, because I worked straight through, I went to Atlantis. And I started as a space cleaner, cleaning toilet bowls and bathrooms and emptying garbage on the pool deck. Wow. That's where I got my start. And I eventually, through Charlie Colebrook and Hilton Bowleg, they eventually saw something in me, and I became a busboy in Marketplace Restaurant at Atlantis in Royal Towers. And then I worked my way up. I saved up a little bit of money to go to school. So I traveled to the UK. I went to the University of Buckingham, where I qualified as a lawyer. But even then, my parents didn't have the money. I worked at a security company called Bascom. I worked at that security company in the night on car parks so far from the university.
Oh, wow.
Right?
In the UK.
In the UK. Just to be able to pay my school fee. And I went to school in the day. Wow. That's and straight through. Just complete hard work.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about pulling myself up from the bootstraps, nothing was ever given to me. It was only through the grace of God that saw me through those difficult moments. Yeah. I remember counting pennies to buy food in the UK.
Wow. You had quite a diverse set of jobs there. I think you said butcher as well.
Yeah, packing boy.
Okay, all right. So why politics? Why would you want to become a member of Parliament?
Because I served as the chairman of the Real Property Tax Department, and that opened my eyes to a lot. And then I was appointed to the Senate as a legislator, and that's what I enjoy. I enjoy debating, reviewing legislation, and crafting legislation. And then I was appointed as the chairman of BAIC. But now I want to take my representation a little higher. I want to represent the people. That's what I want to do.
All right, so that's really interesting what you just said. So we saw your 10-point plan a few weeks ago, and you have a copy here with us today. I ask people this a lot. You're the first person who ever says they enjoy legislation and writing and crafting legislation. Yeah. And I don't even know where to go from this because nobody says this. But that is supposed to be one of the principal roles of being an MP, right?
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk more about that. And it doesn't seem, because as Laverne mentioned to you off air, a lot of the points in your 10-point plan seem like local or community work.
Yes.
And we talk about local government a lot on the show. And it does seem a lot of people who want to run for office might be more local government minded than legislators.
Right.
Let's talk about all of that and knowing what the role of an MP is.
Yes. Well, listen, I believe that legislation creates culture, right? Crafting legislation creates culture. If law says you must stop at the red light, you're going to stop at the red light. Hopefully. Hopefully. I may have passed it once or twice, but all fun and jokes aside, it creates culture. It creates the culture of your society, right? That is what laws do. And so we're impacting I take it seriously because we are impacting lives. When the government raise the increase the minimum wage, that impacted people's lives. When they reduced VAT, that impacted people's lives. So we're talking about culture. We're talking about the way people behave, and that is what laws do. Right. They create culture. And so that is what I enjoy. I enjoy that. But that doesn't take away from my community-minded representation. Mm-hmm. Look, I when I went to Zion Yamakura Baptist Church, I was in Boys Brigade, right? And Captain Friendly Palmer and Captain Bullet, that created discipline. But that's community-based, and those were the things that shaped me. When I started the Yamakura Pacesetters, right, a community-based organization, that is what shaped me. And so this isn't anything strange, right? I'm very community-minded, right? When I decided to assist Senator Ronald Duncombe with the Next Gen Men's mentorship program, where we had over 30 plus cohorts graduated through that program and went on to do some great stuff. Some went to universities. That is impact. And so this is not strange to me that I now want to enter frontline politics and represent constituents. And you mentioned the 10-point plan. This was developed by me going in the community and putting focus groups in the community and listening to what people have to say, listening to what residents, of Golden Isles have to say. And this is how this 10-point plan was crafted, right? Now, these are common themes that run throughout the Golden Isles constituency. Obviously, it's a diverse constituency from the detention center corner to Adelaide. So everything in between. So it's very diverse. But these are some of the common things that run through the community.
Yeah. So what do you say to folks like myself who say, well, the MP really should be, like what you talked about, legislating and making it easier for local representatives to do their work in the community? What are your views on local government and diversifying or decentralizing the central government to allow for, especially here in New Providence, local government where folks can be about doing the pot works, filling in the pot works and paving the roads as opposed to
all
the
in support.
MP?
All in support. That's my position on that is clear. That I support, because representation needs to be localized. I mean, to an extent, obviously we have it in the Family Island, but you're talking about New Providence, right? And basically,
and something with a little more teeth than what they have in the Family Islands, where they have a little more autonomy and don't need to go back to the MP or the government, the Prime Minister for every little thing.
Well, that's not necessarily the case, right? Because that's what your representative does, so to speak. He represents the needs and the desires of the community in which he's been elected for, because that's who elect you. It's the people that elect you, and so it functions in sorts of that representative representing that community and taking the needs and the concerns of that community back to the Parliament, where they create laws, right? And so I believe that representation should be close to the people that they represent. There shouldn't be constituents shouldn't say that they're not seeing their member of Parliament, or at least feeling his presence, right? And so I do believe in full, complete representation, and that's the kind of candidate I will be. Yeah. Someone that is very close to constituents, someone that listens to constituents' need, hence my 10-point plan, and someone that acts. I am a doer. That's what I am, and that is what Golden Isles is going to get. They're going to get someone who is fierce, who will be a lion in their corner, right? that is what they're going to get in me. I do not give up.
This has been very controversial. The fact that so much road work has been happening over the past few weeks, as there has been a by-election called. People saying this is only happening because it's election time, where there's a by-election or a general election. That things only seem to happen the closer you get to the election. And as you mentioned just now, people say they don't see their MP. Let's talk about that and how this works, especially if the MP is representing the party that didn't win the election. How does that work if this is the type of system we have?
Well, Dwight, I know you know me to be very straight, very honest about what I say, and I understand why people think that way, because for years it has been the same thing. Things always seem to happen right before an election. That's been the pattern in this country. And people are right to call it out, Dwight. They are right. But what's happening now isn't just something that appeared. This is a part of a national program, Dwight. Roads are being paved throughout this country. And people can attest to that. Roads are being paved in Eleuthera, from South Eleuthera coming to Central Eleuthera. Roads are being paved in Exuma, right? Roads are being paved all over this country. So this isn't something that is happening now, right? It is part of a national program, right? Now, it's advocacy, and that is what your representative is supposed to be doing, advocating on your behalf. And, you know, people are excited in Golden Isles about the fact that they're not dropping in potholes, about the fact that, you know, speed bumps are being put in and, you know, their kids can safely traverse their corners, right? And they don't have to spend $100 and $200 changing tires every so often. They are excited about that. If you ask the people in Golden Isles, Dwight Strachan, they are excited about that.
I'm sure they are excited, of course, because like you said, you're not dropping in potholes. You have street lights. So I just want to be clear. What you're saying is the work that's happening in Golden Isles was always on tap to happen.
The road works.
The road works.
Happening
was always,
in Golden Isles.
Yes, was always on tap to happen.
Absolutely.
And even if there wasn't a by-election, there would have still been these works happening.
Absolutely.
It's just more coincidental, or perhaps maybe it was always on the list. Would you say maybe it was pushed up, or this
Advocacy.
is just, or this
Advocacy.
is just, so you've been
Advocacy.
Okay.
Yeah, this work is real, and it will continue after November. The work is real.
Mm-hmm. What do you see as some of the other big issues in Golden Isles that need to be addressed right now?
Well, I mean, look, I'm listening to the people in Golden Isles. And, you know, people don't want much. They don't want, in Golden Isles, it's a very robust community. People are not asking for handouts. They are asking for handouts. They are asking for opportunities, right? They're saying, my street light is out. I work the graveyard shift in the night. I'm a single mother. Fix the light. Keep the lights on. I'm a single mother coming home at night. I cannot drop in a pothole, catch a flat. What am I to do at that point? My kids want to go on the park. Can you please fix the park? Can you please build out the park or the space that was meant for a park that's overgrown? Can you please put a park there so that my kids and I can walk? Because I also see this as mental health. You know, people want avenues to release themselves, right? And so, as you know, I'm a huge mental health prevention advocate, right? And so I tie this together, right? That is what people want. They want opportunities. They're saying to me, that we need a representative, we need representation, and we need a representative that will be close to the people. Not someone with fancy speeches, but someone who is going to put their elbow in and get the work done. We need our representative to be accessible. We don't need to be waiting months on end to get small things done in the community, right? And these are things that really are community-based, right? You know, we need CCTV expansion throughout this community. And we're not talking about the drones and the CCTV that Dwayne Sands is talking about, the $18 million that we never saw. We're not talking about that. We want real things that we can see, right? Because we want extra pair of eyes when we come home in the night. That is what we want. These are things that are very community, very basic. They're not asking for the world. They're not asking you for ham and turkey. They're not asking you for refrigerators. They're asking you to do your job.
So would you as an MP be able to make this happen, or is that bigger than you? Is that up to the government, and is it on their schedule? Because everybody in the whole country is asking for all these things you're talking about. How would you be able to deliver this?
By advocating on their behalf. By advocating on their behalf to ensure, just like how I advocated for better sidewalks, right, in Golden Isles, just like how I advocated for some of the streetlights and speed bumps, which are now going in, right? Through advocacy, that is how I'm going to make it happen. And the government is in place now, right? We have the entire government in place to make it happen.
No. So your opponents I think they all live in the area, and they're saying that makes a big difference. And I don't believe that you do. How do you respond to that? It is not a requirement for an MP to live in the constituency, but these three are saying that this could only be good for them and for the residents to have an MP who is living there amongst them.
Let me ask this question. Do you think Pia Glover-Roll is a good member of Parliament?
From all accounts, she seems to be.
Do you think Jobette Colby is a good member of Parliament?
Many folks say that.
Do I need to go on? The point is,
but maybe they could be better if they are living in the constituency.
It's stretching it, right? The point is, because you don't have, it doesn't matter what zip code you live in, right? I think the issues that Bahamians have are all throughout the length and breadth of the Bahamas. Some of the issues are the same. People want good representation. It's not about an area code, Dwight. I think that's, we're intelligent people, right? I mean, it's not about an area code, but it's about your representation, right? That is what it's about. And quite frankly, moving throughout Golden Isles, people don't know the F&M candidate like they are portraying that he knows them. They don't. And that is the reality. He's taking care of a small segment of Golden Isles. But if you walk the streets of Golden Isles, like me and my teams have been walking, people just don't know him, right?
But he's just been a regular citizen, though. I mean, does that not account for something? He's not been an elected official.
But this is his words. He's touting this, right? And that is not what leadership is about. Leadership represents everybody. They don't represent a certain segment of society. Of the constituency, I beg your pardon, right? That is what leadership is about, right? I mean, he served under the late member Vaughn Miller when he was in F&M as his coordinator, right? He served under him. He served independently. He was the F&M standard bearer, and he lost, right? And he was there when Mr. Miller was there, right? And so he served quite a bit in the constituency. But ask the residents, when I go around and I ask them, what tangible transformation have you seen? None, right? Listen, representation has to be serious. right?
Sorry, when you speak to the residents and you ask them about the tangible transformation and there being none, this is in reference to what he's done in the community.
What he's done in the community as someone who's holding themselves out. Because he is holding, this is what he's running on. If you listen to the conversation and to his speeches, this is what he is running on. And so he must be held accountable.
Well, I mean, everybody not knowing versus a lot of people knowing. I mean, you know, if you're not an elected official, it says something.
Dwight, my position is this is his platform. This is what he is running on. So if it is not true, then just don't run on it.
Any views on the other two candidates? What do you make of them?
Well, I mean, Mr. Rule, have great respect for Mr. Rule, and both the independent candidate as well. I'm just a better candidate.
Okay. All right. We'll get back to Golden Isles in a bit, but a lot of people want to talk about Golden Yoke. And with BAIC, let's talk about it. There's still a lot of confusion even about where things stand with it right now. What can you tell us? Can you tell us anything about where that stands right now?
Well, Golden Yoke, as you know, Golden Yoke is under the Ministry of Works. So people are getting it a little confused. So the Ministry of Works is building out the program. And the program is making, by all accounts, is making steady progress. There were delays. You know, I don't think anyone is running away from that. There were delays in the program, but it's moving on steadily. And the Ministry of Works is building out the program. After that program has been built out, it will be turned over to BAIC. So it's not as if, you know, I'm directly in charge. And don't forget, I came to BAIC a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah. So quite recent. But that's not an excuse or a deflection, but that's just the reality. Yeah. And so Minister Honorable Clay Sweeting and his team at the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs is building out the Golden Yoke program and making steady progress.
Yeah. Any idea on a timeline or what we're looking at now? I know it has changed quite a bit, but what are we looking at? No.
He will. I'm sure he'll be on your show to answer.
Yes,
answer
hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. All right. So I want to talk about the Senate. So yes. I've got a lot of issues with the Senate. The relevance of the Senate. Let's talk about it. Do we need to make adjustments? Should senators be elected officials? Do you think it's working the way it is now? It's essentially, many of us see it as a rubber stamp. What do you say to that?
I reject that.
Yeah?
I strongly reject that. Right? Because from the Senate, there have been instances where, as a senator and a lawyer, corrections had to be made to legislation. I see that as extremely critical. That can mean the difference between a lot of things happening. You know,
how so? Because I'm one of those. For me, let me speak for me personally. Once it goes to the Senate, I'm like, okay, well, whatever was decided in the House of Assembly, nothing's going to change when it goes to the Senate. So when you say it'll make a difference,
there are adjustments, and things can change at the Senate level.
And you do have some ministers in the Senate.
You do have some ministers
provide a lot of
guidance,
critical information.
Yeah, the Attorney General is in the Senate, right? The role of senators are extremely important. And my former colleagues in the Senate, play an extremely vital role. Whether it's Ryan Pinder, who's the Attorney General, Michael Alkitis, both ministers in the Senate, they play critical roles. Darren Henfield, the F&M Senator, Michael Barnett, the F&M Randy Rohl, they play critical roles in the Senate through legislation, whether it's correcting, amending. The Senate can even produce or sponsor legislation.
But when was the last time that happened?
Right.
It hasn't happened,
right.
sorry.
They can, but it
They
hasn't
can.
happened. Right.
It hasn't, but they can, right? But that's some of the teeth, and that, there may be instances where that is needed, but it hasn't happened. But I'm just saying they have the authority and the power to do so.
Yeah.
But they play critical roles. The opposition in the Senate play critical role in whether opposing certain, even suggesting amendments and where things need to change, and it being listened to by the governing side. So these are critical. You need as much eyes as possible on legislation because of the impact it has to a society.
Should senators be elected?
Should senators be elected? Well, currently they're appointed. They're appointed, and they're appointed on both sides. I don't see an issue.
Yeah.
I don't see an issue with that, with the appointment of senators.
Okay.
But I want to.
You look at you wanted to say something else.
I was going to say that I want to come back to Golden Isles. I don't want us to get too far off of talking about.
Well, you see, you want to
Golden
be a
Isles.
legislator, so I want to see where your mind would be if this were to ever come up as a vote, right? If we were saying we want to make real changes for the first time in more than 50 years in our country, what side you would be on if you were asked to vote on certain things. So we're picking your brain here.
Right.
But you answered about the Senate. Okay. All right. So what do you think about the by-election? How it's going? We talked about what happened on Monday, unfortunately,
Right.
but
Yes.
otherwise, how you see it's going?
Well, for me, the by-election, we are being received positively going to homes. People see me as a new generation candidate, right? Someone who is plain speaking, someone who is honest. Someone, in this country, people are very cynical about politicians because they promise a lot and they don't deliver. And that is why, as a new generation politician, I'm running. That is precisely the reason I'm running. And so for me, we are on the ground listening to concerns. We are addressing them. We have short, long-term, medium-term, short-term plans to get some of the things happening right away. And so for us, that is going very positively. For decades, the residents of Coral Harbor Road has had issues with flooding. And last week, Thursday, we had a town meeting where residents expressed themselves. This week, work has started on Coral Harbor Road, where the government will build Coral Harbor Road. And they will have lift stations and culverts to take that water off the road, filtrate that water, and put that into the canal. Because water has to go somewhere, right? There are a number of creeks throughout the Golden Isles constituency. The late Vaughan Miller was developing a program where he would clear some of those creeks because that's where water would exit, right? And so we are looking at that program to ensure that some of the creeks throughout the community is cleared.
How long would this process take? Because the flooding is a big problem.
It is. Well, it started. Their design building that road. The engineers are on that road. People are seeing them doing work on that soft work on the road right now, just to design the road. And so this is ongoing. This is already started.
So I just want to, and kind of going back here, but all of these wonderful things, because we can't say these things aren't good for Golden Isles. This is what Golden Isles is needed, and they are getting that attention right now, and the work is ongoing. I'm sure you've heard your opponents make reference to West End, right? West Grand Bahama. And they talk about during that time when there was a by-election and there was movement in West Grand Bahama and things were happening. And then after that time had passed, not so much. Right. How is this any different from that? how is what is happening in Golden Isles going to continue, and we don't then have, when there is a general election, now Golden Isles becomes the reference, like how West Grand Bahama, used by opponents to say, okay, the work has ceased. What's happening now in Golden Isles?
Right.
How is this going to continue? What is the plan? Let's say you aren't successful. I'm not wishing that
No,
for
no,
you.
no. I
I'm just
understand.
saying.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, let's say you're not successful.
Yes.
What then happens? How does this plan continue? How does the flooding and how you're addressing that and the lights and the CC, how does that continue, whether Darren Pickstock is the member of parliament or someone else?
Well, the work, whether I am successful or not, the work will continue in Golden Isles. And I will continue to be on the ground in Golden Isles. This is a commitment that I've made to serve. And I'm not running on anybody else's record. I am running on my record. That's what I'm running on. And, trust has to be earned. And to a certain level, we have to rebuild trust in Golden Isles. And you rebuild trust through consistency, and you rebuild trust through action. I will remain on the ground in Golden Isles, even if, God forbid, I am not successful. And the work will continue in Golden Isles after November. Listen, this is what governments do. That's their job. And I understand, again, why people will be cynical.
Yeah.
Right? Because they've seen this movie play out before. Right? But that is why I'm running. That is precisely why I am running. That is precisely why I'm not running on anybody's record, right? And I am a strong advocate for truth, speaking truth to power. And if that doesn't happen, I will be right on this show taking accountability. I will be right back, sitting back in front of you, taking accountability, because that is what leaders do. They take responsibility and they take accountability. And that's the person I am. That is the representation Golden Isles will be getting.
While we're here, if again, not wishing this on you, if you're not successful, will you be running again in the general election? Has that been guaranteed? What do you know?
I will be on the ground in Golden Isles. If win, lose, or draw, I will be on the ground representing the constituency of Golden Isles.
All right.
So to answer your question, yes.
Okay. All right. So we have only about 5 minutes left with you, and again, you want to be a legislator, so we've got some hot button issues that we want to get your stance on, because people don't know what their MPs believe in. We don't know. So it's in the paper today. I was going to ask you about it anyway. Pregnant women who are murdered. Horrible things, but right now that counts as one murder. It is not a double homicide. Where do you stand on that, Darren Pickstock? Should that be a double homicide? Yeah. And you're a lawyer, so I know you have views on this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, how far along?
Oh, does that make a difference?
Well, you have to get into it, right? And so, for me, any life is sacred. Any life, whether it's in the womb or not, it is sacred, and it is a life.
So what does that mean? I mean, and that's fine. Any life is sacred,
yes,
whether in the womb or not.
Yes.
But let's say if this comes up, what is your stance? Are we changing the law so that we acknowledge that both mother and child double murder, or are we saying one?
We are saying.
What is Mr. Pickstock saying?
I started off by saying any life is sacred, whether in the womb or not, and that should immediately tell you my position. That
not really, because you could think that the life is sacred, but that doesn't mean.
Give me a moment to answer
the law.
And so for me, that life should count in the womb.
Okay.
Okay.
All life is sacred.
All right. So that is your stance on abortion as well?
Sorry?
That's your stance on abortion as well? Yeah.
Sacred.
Okay. Your party, your chairman, has said that freedom of information is not necessarily a priority. Where do you stand on that? What?
Well, it's freedom of information. I don't think the legislation is there. I think, the government was clear on its position, and we have an act. Obviously, things take priority in the system, and so not that anything was abandoned, right? But as the chairman says, it's not, at the top of the laundry list. But it has not been abandoned, the Freedom of Information Act. In fact, under the Progressive Liberal Party, that act was amended, right? And it's on the books, right?
But go ahead.
In the laundry list of matters and issues that the country is facing, that wasn't on the priority.
See, that on the books thing is uncomfortable because we've got capital punishment on the books too, and we see where we are with that.
Yeah, I agree, but we as a lawyer, it is on the books, but the Privy Council dictates something else. So are you saying you're prepared to abandon the Privy Council and turn some other way? That's a broader discussion, right? But the way it stands now, the Privy Council says the worst of the worst, and they determine that, right, as our last court of resort, right? And so it's a much broader discussion. It's not a in our context right now. It's not a straight pathway, right, to capital punishment.
All right.
I just want to go back to the Freedom of Information Act for a moment. Again, we've heard that it's not that it doesn't matter, but it's not on a top priority. But being on the ground or listening to shows and having people talk about that. Talk about it, different groups talk about, lament about, we need a functioning Freedom of Information Act and all of that. Is that something that you're prepared to advocate for?
Yes.
That maybe it goes up to a higher priority?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to hold you to that one.
Yes.
All right, so here we are towards the end of November. We've got a by-election, but we very well could have a general election in January, depending on how one man feels about it. Should we have fixed election dates? Where does Darren Pickstock stand on that?
Well, I mean, I'm a proponent of fixed election dates. My position on that is clear. Yeah, I'm a proponent of fixed election dates.
National lottery.
I mean, Dwight is throwing.
These are
the things we talk about every day. We want to know where our MPs stand.
Yeah, here's the thing. Some of these things may come up, right?
Having a light moment.
Yeah.
You get it. I think you get it.
Yeah.
You get it. So where do you stand on that?
I'm a proponent.
Yeah? Okay. All right. I shouldn't mention this, but your opponent
Just go for it.
Didn't
There's
want to
one more.
mention. He didn't want to answer this one. We'll see where you go. Marital rape.
There you go.
Where do you stand on this?
That's a broader discussion.
See, don't do that. This is the same answer. Why can't we get MPs to commit to this?
That's a broader discussion.
What does that mean?
Rape is rape. Full stop. Rape is rape. Full stop. You got an answer.
Okay. Well, at the time, I had Junkin on the list, but that one's kind of cleared up now, so we don't have to go down there. But maybe you could tell us who you pull for. No, don't answer that one. You get yourself in trouble.
You don't want me
You
to
get
answer
yourself
that
in trouble. You don't want to lose.
Tell
any
us.
votes.
I'm intrigued.
Off air. You tell us that off.
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
So,
final words.
As we wrap up, for me, I want voters in Golden Isles. I want the residents of Golden Isles. I want them to know, and I want them to remember me as a person that showed up. I want them to remember me as a person that listened and a person that acted, as a doer. I'm not asking the residents of Golden Isles for blind trust. I am not asking them for blind trust. I am asking them to give me one chance to prove that progress can be made, progress can be steady, progress can be honest and lasting in Golden Isles. But I'm asking them to give me a chance on November 24th. I am asking them to vote for Darren Pickstock. That's what I'm asking them for.
Darren Pickstock, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming here today and talking with us.
It was a pleasure.
All right. Good luck.
Yes.
And we're going to take a break. We'll be back to wrap things up with Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Transform your home for less at Kelly's House & Homes Holiday Paint Sale now through Wednesday, December 24th. Enjoy 25% off house and spray paints plus 20% off paint supplies, except on net items. Our wide selection of paint colors is the perfect way to bring holiday cheer to your home. You'll also find the best selection of brushes, rollers, pans, glue, ladders, paint thinner, and more. So catch the holiday spirit and paint up for Christmas at Kelly's House & Homes Holiday Paint Sale, going on now through December 24th.
The Free National Movement invites you to Rally in the Alley, the finale.
We're ready for the
Golden Isles edition. Join us this Friday, November 21st at 7:30 p.m. at Dignity Gardens Park. Get to know your team. Dr. Dwayne Sands, Ryan B. Brown, Deputy Leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and Leader, the Honorable Michael C. Pintar. That's Rally in the Alley, Golden Isles edition, the finale. Friday, November 21st at 7:30 p.m. Carmichael Road, west of Gladstone Road.
Looking for the perfect Sunday outing? The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas is now open and free to all Bahamian citizens and residents. Spend the day admiring the evolution of Bahamian art. Soak in the natural beauty of our art park and take a little piece of culture home with you by browsing our gift shop. Whether you're an art lover or just curious, we've got something here for everyone. Bring your family, your partner, or your friends and let the art inspire you this Sunday and beyond. The National Art Gallery of the Bahamas, our home for Bahamian art.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
At RBC, your idea of getting more happens here with a no-fee loan with fee waivers, competitive rates, and flexible terms. Get everything you want for the holidays. Apply today at rbc.com/holiday loan.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, But with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Bahamar is expecting to have a full house for the Thanksgiving week and then from Christmas into New Year. That's according to Bahamar President Graham Davis. He said that while occupancy levels will fall off slightly for the first few days in January, he said they will pick right back up soon after, explaining that group business will support the early weeks of 2026. J.S. Johnson's consolidated net income advanced by $1.7 million in quarter three as the insurance provider breathed easier with just one more month left in the 2025 hurricane season. The Basics listed insurance company's managing director, Alistair McKellar, saying in the firm's quarter three report that consolidated net income advanced by $1.7 million, bolstered by a $280,000 gain in their underwriting segment and $1.4 million in agency and brokers. Shareholders enjoyed a 20% increase in earnings per share from 92 cents to $1.10. More on that in today's Guardian Business section. Bank of the Bahamas, in its quarter three report ending September 30th, reporting that operating income compared to last year increased by $2.3 million. The bank's managing director, Neil Strachan, said in the management discussion and analysis for the quarter three report that the bank reported a $2.3 million increase in total operating income compared to the previous fiscal year. The bank recognized net impairment loss of $2.2 million, but remained committed to prudent credit portfolio management, effective risk mitigation strategies, and continued enhancement of collections and recovery initiatives. And the 100% Bahamian-owned and operated seaplane company, Seaplane Safaris, signing a letter of intent to cement a deal with Tidal Flight for 5 of its Polaris amphibian hybrid electric aircraft. The company revealing that the deal for the airplanes is worth $30 million and brings cutting-edge technology to an in-air travel to the Bahamas, founder and CEO. J.P. Roberts says that the affordability of the aircraft and their low environmental impact will support the country's sustainable development goals. Roberts saying that Tidal Polaris aircraft will also support enhanced inter-island connectivity. More on that in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, U.S. employers adding a surprisingly solid 119,000 jobs in September, issuing a key economic report that had been delayed for 7 weeks by the federal government shutdown. The unemployment rate rose to 4.4% in September, highest since October 2021, and up from 4.3% in August. The Labor Department said the unemployment rate rose partly because 470,000 people entered the labor market either working or looking for work in September, and not all of them found jobs right away. The increase in payrolls was more than double the 50,000 economists had forecast, but Labor Department revisions showed that the economy lost 4,000 jobs in August instead of gaining 22,000 as originally reported. Altogether, revisions shaved 33,000 jobs off July and August payrolls. And Walmart delivering another standout quarter, posting strong sales and profits that blew past Wall Street expectations as it wins over more cash-strapped Americans who have grown increasingly anxious about the economy. With other retailers dialing back projections, The U.S.'s largest retailer raised its financial outlook today after its strong third quarter, setting itself up for a strong holiday shopping season. Walmart, based in Bentonville, Arkansas, said that it will be transferring the listing of its common stock to the tech-heavy NASDAQ for the New York Stock Exchange. It expects its common stock to begin trading on the NASDAQ Global Select Market on December 9th under the same ticker symbol WMT. Meanwhile, Verizon is laying off more than 13,000 employees as the telecommunications giant says it must reorient its entire company. The jobs cuts coming today per to a staff memo from Verizon CEO Dan Schulman. In the letter, which was seen by the Associated Press, Schulman noted that Verizon's current cost structure limits the company's ability to invest, pointing particularly to customer experiences. Saying, quote, "We must reorient our entire company around delivering for and delighting our customers." He added the company needs to simplify its operations to address the complexity and friction that slow the company down and frustrate customers. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 3,300 shares, closing down 1 cent to 424. Colino Holdings moving 1,100, up 59 cents to 14.69. Consolidated Water down 4 cents, closing at 6.83. And Emira Incorporated up 3 cents, closing at 11.94. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,050.67, up 0.57. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Laverne Gardner, can't you stick around for another week or so?
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Thank you for being here in Nassau today.
It was such a pleasure. And I just want to say a quick shout out to all of our listeners in Grand Bahama. Thank you to everyone who tunes into Morning Blend.
Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your stay here. I guess we'll have to listen to you in Grand Bahama next week.
Yeah, I could fly me back in. Okay. I will definitely do that. We'll talk off air.
We'll talk. All right, I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio.